The asset blindness problem. Why most people never build wealth even with good income. In Mr. Stick's framework, there's a strange phenomenon happening everywhere. People work harder than ever, earn more than they used to, stay busy constantly. And yet, years pass, sometimes decades, and they still own almost nothing that pays them back. No meaningful assets, no systems producing income, no financial engine quietly working in the background. Just income followed by expenses, again and again. This is what I call the asset blindness problem, and most people have it without realizing it. The core misunderstanding. Most people are taught how to earn money. Very few are taught how to convert money into ownership. That distinction changes everything, because income alone does not create wealth. Income is temporary. Assets are what remain. But many people unconsciously treat money as something to consume rather than something to position. So every financial increase becomes a lifestyle upgrade instead of an ownership opportunity. And over time, that decision becomes extremely expensive. What asset blindness looks like. Asset blindness is not always obvious. In fact, it often looks successful from the outside. Someone may have a strong income, a nice car, a nice home, good clothes, visible status. But behind all of it, very little ownership, no meaningful investments, no income-producing systems, no growing financial structure. Everything depends on continued work. And if the income stops, the entire structure weakens. That is not wealth. That is maintenance. The psychological side. Now let's go deeper. Why does this happen? Because assets are psychologically unrewarding in the beginning. Think about it. Buying something visible gives immediate feedback. Attention, recognition, excitement. But building assets often feels invisible. No applause, no dramatic lifestyle change, no instant reward, which means the brain naturally leans toward consumption. Because consumption feels emotionally satisfying now. Ownership rewards you later. And most people are not trained to think long-term. The visibility problem. There is another issue. Assets are often quiet. Nobody sees your index funds, your equity, your reinvested cash flow. But everyone sees your car, your watch, your vacations. So people begin optimizing for visible success instead of financial structure. And that creates a dangerous illusion. Someone can look financially ahead while actually being financially fragile. The work trap. Without assets, your life remains dependent on labor. That means you must continue producing income actively to sustain your lifestyle. Your time remains attached to survival. This is why many high earners still feel pressure. Because despite their income, they have not built separation between their life and their labor. Assets create that separation. The difference between consumers and builders. Consumers ask, what can I buy with this money? Builders ask, what can this money become? That one shift changes the direction of an entire life. Because builders understand, money is not just for spending. It is for positioning. The delayed consequence. Asset blindness does not destroy people immediately. That's why it's dangerous. The damage appears slowly. Years of no investing, no ownership, no compounding, no systems. Then eventually reality appears. Retirement pressure, financial stress, dependence on continued work. Not because they never earned enough, but because they never converted enough into ownership. The compounding reality. Assets compound quietly. At first, almost invisibly, then suddenly, powerfully. That is why consistency matters more than intensity. Small investments repeated consistently over years become significant. Not because of magic, because of structure and time. Most people underestimate this because they are focused on immediate results. But wealth is rarely immediate. It is accumulated gradually through repeated positioning. The identity shift. To solve asset blindness, your identity must change. You stop seeing money as something to escape discomfort with, and begin seeing it as something that can build future freedom. You begin asking different questions. Not, what do I want right now? But, what will this become later? That shift separates consumers from owners. The financial consequence. If you remain asset blind, you stay dependent on income. You delay compounding. You remain vulnerable to financial disruption. You work longer than necessary, not because you lacked intelligence, but because you lacked ownership structure. Final words from Mr. Sticks. Most people spend their entire lives earning money without ever building anything that earns with them. That is the tragedy. So here's your directive. Stop measuring financial success by what you can buy. Start measuring it by what you own that continues producing value over time. Because the goal is not just to make money. It is to build something that eventually makes money without requiring your constant presence. That is where financial freedom begins. Ultra. If this changed the way you think about money, hold on to that shift. Because once you begin seeing assets differently, you can't unsee it. More frameworks are coming, and each one is designed to sharpen how you think, behave, and build. Stay with it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Shalom.